Welcome to the Don't Get Fooled Show with Big Ray and College Football Week 14. Bam. Let's go, Apes.
Bam. All right, boys and girls, College Football Week 14, Conference Championship Week. I can't believe it. It's the last week of the season. The season has rolled by, and we're going to go out with a bang on College Football Conference Championship Week. Always a good slate of games to watch and enjoy the weekend, enjoy the Saturday. Before we get into the episode, Big Ree,
make sure to like, subscribe, comment, join the membership, and purchase your merch.
Get your merch, boys and girls, and join the membership. The picks have been fire, and get your bonus picks on the membership. Let's get into a recap, Big Ree, of last week. Before we get into the recap, we are back. We made it back from Thailand, and about 6 days now, 5 days, almost coming on a week, just trying to adjust back to being in the US and the jet lag and the time change. But we'll get a little bit more into the trip in the BS segment. Let's get into a recap of last week. Big Ree, one of the big games. Oregon beat up on Oregon State 31-7.
Yeah.
Good win for Oregon and solidifying themselves as a potential contender for the CFP. Texas just hammered Texas Tech 57-7, Big Ree.
Yeah, for sure. Putting the statement win.
They definitely are trying to show that they belong, but I think it's going to be very tough for these guys to actually get in. Missouri, nice win over Arkansas, 48-14. Oklahoma on a high-scoring game, 69-45 versus TCU. They were just putting up points left and right. I was watching that game.
Yeah.
That was a good game to watch, just fun game, high-powered offense. Iowa 13-10 over Nebraska, got themselves into a conference championship game and ended 10-2 in the regular season. Georgia, 31-23, a little bit unimpressive win versus Georgia Tech. But, they got the W, but honestly, very unimpressive. Michigan, that was the big game of the weekend. Michigan beat Ohio State 30-24. Really good game.
For sure.
Really good game. But Michigan, they played well. Ohio State played well, too. I thought they were going to win that game. Obviously, that interception at the end ended it, but I thought they were going to win that game. But Michigan, congrats. They got the win. Another kind of doozy of a victory for Washington against Washington State, 24-21. They're just kind of squeaking out these wins, Big Ree.
Yeah, for sure. A win's a win, though.
Yeah, they got the win, and they're undefeated going into the conference championship game. Florida State, they beat Florida 24-15 with the backup QB. They got the win, got into the conference championship. CFP rankings came out. They are still in the top 4.
Yeah.
So they came out today. They are in the top 4. We'll see what happens. Alabama, Auburn, 27-24. What a game.
Yeah, this was crazy.
This was an unreal ending, 4th and 31.
Yeah. And
they get the touchdown to win the game. Alabama rolling, ever since that loss to Texas. They're rolling, and they're just stacking the W's. Kentucky beat Louisville. That was surprising. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I did not see that coming either.
Kentucky, put up 17 in the 4th to get the win. Louisville blew that game. They could have, I don't think they were going to make the playoffs, but still, only having one loss would have been nice for them. LSU comeback win versus Texas A&M, 42-30. I want to talk about this game pretty quickly, Big Ree. Arizona State, 59-23. Arizona's looking good.
Yeah, for sure.
They're looking good. I think they got the freshman QB. They're going to be an interesting team next year.
Yeah.
Very interesting team. And that's pretty much it. Not much else to really talk about on the docket. That any of these interesting games, a lot of doozy games. Shout out to Liberty. They won 42-28, ended the season 12-0.
Yeah.
So whenever you're undefeated, you deserve some props, regardless of who you're playing and what conference you're in. Undefeated is undefeated. So yeah, that was, that's kind of a recap. Let's get into the BS segment, Big Ree. We made it back from, Thailand. Overall, I mean, we'll get into a little bit, but overall, how did you feel about the trip?
Great trip. What can I say? It's a good trip.
What did you enjoy the most about the trip?
A lot of different things, but I don't know. I don't know what to say here. What about you?
You don't know what you enjoyed the most about the trip?
No, not really.
Did you enjoy the trip?
Yeah.
But you don't really know what to say. What was your favorite part?
Not really.
Okay. I mean, I enjoyed the trip. Yeah, great trip. What can I say? The trip was great. Everything about it worked out perfect. Nothing but great things to say about Thailand. Highly recommend anybody that's not been to go. People are friendly, beautiful country, food is good, things are cheap. I mean, highly recommend Thailand. But I still want to know a little bit more about what you have to say about it, Big Ree.
Yeah, pretty much what you said. Nice people, things are cheap, food is cheap. You can eat like a king.
But okay, yeah, so we're back. We made it back. Thailand was good. We're going to get a little bit more into the trip in the NFL video. That's when we'll really get into the BS segment. We'll maybe get Big Ree a Red Bull or something during the break, and maybe we'll have some more energy for the NFL video. Yeah, great trip. We made it back and cannot wait to get on another trip. But like I said, we'll talk more about the trip during the the NFL video. You want to get into some shout outs, Big Ree?
Yeah, let's get into the shout outs.
Okay. Want to give a shout out to Spooner Steve from New Jersey. Shout out to Spooner Steve from New Jersey, and hope you and your wife Linda are doing well. Want to give a shout out, Big Ree?
Yeah, shout out to Ziggy Balls.
All right.
This guy is always giving picks on X every day for all sports. And this guy's always been a loyal viewer to us, great viewer.
All right, want to give a shout out to Tremaine from Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out to Tremaine.
I want to give a shout out to Mr. 305. You know who I'm talking about.
Chimp Shock?
Yeah.
All right, shout out to the 305 in the neighborhood. And want to give a shout out to the Kid Blue from Monterey Park, California. And that'll do it for the shout outs. You want to shout out, drop us in the comment. We'll try to get you next week. And we're going to get right into the docket of picks this week. We got conference championship week, and let's get into it. So this week we're going to go over the 5 major games, and we'll both give our thoughts on the games. So without further ado, here we go, boys and girls. Aquí vamos, chicos y chicas. Let's go. All right, game 1. This is a Friday game. We got number 6 Oregon at number 4 Washington. Oregon is a 9.5-point favorite. This game is being played at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Oregon 11-1, coming off a 31-7 win versus Oregon State. The only loss on the season here is to Washington, 36-33. They'll have a rematch now. And then we got Washington, who's 12-0, coming off a 24-21 win versus Washington State. 8 of their wins are by under 10 points, so they're winning, but not really blowing people out. Big Ree, what do you think here?
Yeah, Oregon's going to blow them out. They're 9.5 for a reason. Penix has been falling off and not been rising, and like you said, they barely beat Washington State at home. And Oregon's just the complete opposite. They're on the rise, and Bo Nix has been playing lights out, and Oregon's going to blow them out.
So you're taking Oregon minus 9.5.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, I mean, I'm looking forward to this game. Obviously, the first game was a really good game decided by, 3 points. Oregon is really on a roll. Bo Nix, 37 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, 78% completion. The guy is just playing lights out, Heisman favorite at this point. Obviously, he needs to get this win. I think that's going to be very important for him. But otherwise, he's definitely the favorite for the Heisman. It's going to be a good game. Washington's undefeated. It's obviously a funny line here when you got the undefeated team by 9.5-point dogs here. I like Oregon most likely. I think Oregon wins this, but this is not a walk in the park. Not at all. Penix can throw the ball, and I think that keeps them in the game. I like Washington to cover this. I think 9.5 is too much. I think if this was a 5 or 6 point spread, I'd probably jump on Oregon, but I'm taking Washington plus 9.5. I'm going to disagree with you, Big Ree, on this one. All right, game 2, we got the Oklahoma State, number 20 Oklahoma State versus number 7 Texas. Texas is a 15-point favorite. This game is being played at Arlington, Texas, at AT&T Stadium. Oklahoma State 9-3, coming off a 40-34 overtime win versus BYU. They are 7-1 in their last 8 games. They did have 2 bad losses, 33-7 to South Alabama and 45-3 versus UCF. Then we got Texas, who was 11-1, coming off a 57-7 win versus Texas Tech. They're on a 6-game winning streak, and their only loss on the season was a 34-30 loss to Oklahoma. Big Ree, what do you think here?
Yeah, Texas is going to blow them out too. It's going to be another easy one. Swallow the points. Oklahoma State shouldn't even be here.
And so you're taking Texas minus 15.
Minus 15. Easy.
Why are you so confident with Texas?
Texas is doing great, like you said. You always have a lot of words for them about how Texas is an overhyped program, and this season they're doing great. They're balling out, and they're gonna win easy by 3 touchdowns. No doubt. Lock.
This is your lock.
Yeah.
So this is your lock of the week.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be another game that I don't think anybody expected Oklahoma State to be here. They're 9-3, kind of sneaky 9-3 team. Obviously, I said they got blown out by 2 kind of no-name teams, UCF and South Alabama. Their quarterback Bowman's got more interceptions than touchdowns. That's never a good sign. Obviously, I just don't think Texas is going to make the playoffs. I don't think they have any chance of making the CFP here. So they're still going to try to put up, a big win. But I don't think they have any chance to make the playoffs. Good, 11-1, good season for them. I think they're contending for a playoff spot, but they're not there yet.
It's a great season.
It's a good season, but they're not making the playoffs.
They definitely have a shot.
They're not making the playoffs. Big Ree everybody has a shot, but they're not going to jump 3 spots into the playoffs. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't see any pathway for them to make the playoffs at all. And it's sad because I think they're a better team than Florida State. Florida State's done. Without Jordan Travis, these guys have no chance to actually make a run there. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I like Texas to win here. So I think they're going to try to impress the committee, but they have no chance to make the playoffs. When they make that clear, don't put any money on any future or anything if you think they're going to make a run. They're not making the playoffs, but they should win big here. Oklahoma State. I don't think they're going to win by like 30, but I think they could. I think they cover the 15. I think they win by maybe 17, 18, maybe 20 at most. But I'm taking Texas minus 15. I agree with you, Big Ree. Game 3, SEC championship game. We got number 1 Georgia versus number 8 Alabama. Georgia's a 5.5-point favorite. This game is being played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We got Georgia 12-0, coming off a 31-23 win versus Georgia Tech. They have wins versus Missouri 30-21 and a 52-17 win versus Ole Miss. 2 big wins on the season. And then we got Alabama 11-1. They're coming off a 27-24 win versus Auburn. Great game. They're on a 10-game winning streak. Their only loss on the season, 34-24 loss to Texas in week 2. Georgia 5.5-point favorite. Big Ree, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot interesting. I mean, obviously Alabama is rising up, and I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one, but I think I'm going to swallow the points here again. I think Georgia steps up and shows up on what they really have to do. And they're kind of at home because it's in Atlanta, so it's in Georgia. So I'm going to roll with the Bulldogs and swallow the 5.5.
All right, so you're going with Georgia here to win. Yeah, this is going to be this is another game that I'm looking forward to watching. It's a lot of good games on the slate this weekend. Really good game. Georgia, they're in the playoffs regardless, win or lose. They're gonna be in the playoffs unless they lose 49-7 or something. Then maybe there's a chance they fall out. But otherwise, these guys are locked in the top 4 regardless. Alabama, they're number 8. They actually have. I give them more of a chance than Texas because they're actually playing the number 1 team. If you play the number 1 team and you beat them, you have a chance. So that's their only chance. They otherwise obviously if they lose, they're done. Even if they win, they might not even make it. But their only chance to actually make it is by beating Georgia. And I think they keep it close. Look, I mean, both of these teams, I think their defenses are equal. I think their offenses are equal. None of these teams have great offenses. None of them have great defense. This is not the Georgia defense of the last few years. These guys have given up, over 20 or more points 6 times on the season. Their quarterback is just above average. Carson Beck, the guy's okay. So they're not a high-powered offense. They're not just a lights-out defense. And Alabama, same. Their defense is good. It's not great. Their offense is good. It's not great. And so I just think this is going to be a good game. And so because I think it's a good game, I think either I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama wins there, honestly. Or if Georgia wins, okay, they win. And because of that, I'm rolling with Alabama plus 5.5. All right, game 4. We got number 10 Louisville at number 5 Florida State. And Florida State is a 2.5-point favorite. This game is being played at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. We got Louisville 10-2, coming off a 38-31 loss to Kentucky. Their other loss on the season was 38-21 at Pittsburgh. And then Florida State, who is 12-0, they're coming off a 24-15 win versus Florida. And their good wins on the season were versus LSU and Clemson. Big Ree, what do you think here?
This is a tough one. I mean, obviously, the line is very sketchy. I mean, Florida State is clearly the better team. Obviously, Louisville losing to Kentucky is a concern, a big concern to me. And I don't know, but it's a coin flip with the spread. But due to the spread, I'm going to take the plus points here. And I think Louisville wins, and then that makes it easier for the committee. And then Florida State will be kicked out.
So you're rolling with Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Florida State loses here, they're out. That's for sure. They honestly, my prediction is they're out regardless. They're not going to make the playoffs. That's it, regardless, win or lose. But I just don't see them winning this game. They lost their quarterback and the backup quarterback. They played Northern Alabama, and then they played Florida, and they won by 9. I mean, they could win because Louisville, obviously they lost to Kentucky, so they're not super impressive. But I just don't see how the committee is going to be able to put a Florida State team without their starting QB in the playoffs. I get that they're undefeated, and it's going to be a big deal if they go undefeated and they don't make the playoffs. But you're basically setting these guys up to get blown out by 30 in the first game of the playoffs if they make it. And I hope the committee has to factor in this injury of the starting QB. And honestly, I wasn't high on Florida State even with Jordan Travis. And without him, I'm definitely not high on them. I'm going to agree with you. I think Louisville wins this game. And I'm taking Louisville plus 2.5. All right. Last game on the docket, the Big Ten championship game. We got number 3 Michigan versus number 17 Iowa. Michigan is a 23-point favorite. This game is being played at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. We got Michigan 12-0 coming off a 30-24 win versus Ohio State. We got Iowa coming off a 13-10 win versus Nebraska. They are 7-1 in their last 8 games. What do you think, Big Ree?
Yeah, Michigan's clearly the better team here. Obviously, quarterback J.J. McCarthy, and still no Coach Harbaugh, but I think that's not really an issue for them. But Iowa has a good defense. I just don't really know here. And I think I'm going to take plus 23. I think everyone's going to be all over Michigan. I don't know why, but the over-under for first half for Iowa is 0.5. So are they going to score 1 point in the first half? So I don't know, but could be low scoring. But I'm going to take plus 23 here. I'm going to go out on a limb and take plus 23 because I know everyone's going to be heavy on Michigan.
You're going to take plus 23. Yeah, I mean, look, Iowa, another team, 10-2. Only 2, good season for them, 10-2. Michigan, 12-0. I mean, Iowa, obviously, they've been winning games with their defense. They've only given up over 16 points once all season. Once. And that was they gave up 31 to Penn State. I mean, Michigan, good offense, good defense. You said Harbaugh, out of commission right now. McCarthy looking okay. Blake Corum not looking as good as he was last year. Donovan Edwards been a complete bust. That guy was on lights out last year when Corum got hurt, and this guy just looks like complete crap this year. Look, obviously both teams have a really good defense, but the problem is Iowa's got just no offense. You said, I didn't even know the over-under was, 0.5 you said?
Yeah, for first half.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the problem. Iowa can't score. They can't score. They got no QB. They can't score. It's unbelievable that you really have such a big program and you cannot score the ball. And as much as this line is 23 is a lot for a team that has a good defense, Iowa can't score. That's the problem. So I like this for Michigan to win either 28-3 or 31-6, but either way, I like Michigan to cover. I just don't see Iowa putting up any points at all. I don't see them putting up more than 6 points. I just don't see it. Even if they put up 7 and Michigan puts up 31, they're still covering the 23. And so I'm going to disagree, Big Ree. I like Michigan minus 23. I'm hoping that Iowa can put up a fight here and make this a game, but it looks like it's going to be a doozy of a game. But between the Georgia, Alabama, and Oregon, Washington, those are going to be 2 really exciting games. So, enjoy the conference championship weekend, boys and girls. Tune in for NFL. We'll get into a lot more of our trip and a lot more BS segment there. We wanted to keep it a little bit watered down here. And so, good luck this week, boys and girls.
All right, peace out, guys.